This is just a short video to give you the skills that you need to do the research for your English 1011 research paper. So I'm looking over your assignment details from the professor, and he's saying that you are required to have 5 sources. One is print-based, which to me means newspaper or magazine, right? So something that is an established publication, and 1 website. So that's pretty much anything else that you find online, but certainly organizational websites come to mind here. And then 3 other sources, but they just all have to be credible. You guys have already watched a video about the difference between finding stuff via the library and finding stuff on Google. I think for the most part, you're probably going to want to use Google quite a lot with this assignment. You might even get away with not using the library at all, and that's fine by me. My person today I'm going to use is Celia Cruz. As you can see, our quick search is pointing to just online resources. That's just because we don't have any physical materials available for circulation right now. So I'm just going to do a quick search for Celia Cruz. Here's what we've got. You can see here this author's name is Celia Cruz, but it's probably a different Celia Cruz because it's in a medical journal. But then we've got some that do look like they're about Celia Cruz, the Cuban singer, songwriter. So there's one coming from Hollywood Reporter, one coming from Billboard magazine. So you can see that we do have magazines available through the library's website. And then you can also, over on the left-hand side, if you wanted to switch just to newspapers, you can. So this will bring up all newspapers that we have available. The benefits of using the library, of course, are that you can have it generate a citation for you, you can save your searches, and the full text should be available if you find it using the quick search. So that's all I'll say about the library. You don't have to go that route. The rest of my searches will be just in Google. I'm going to keep my keywords really basic and just go with Celia Cruz. The first result, and for you guys, mostly you're going to see this, the Wikipedia page is the first result. I think Wikipedia is fine for doing some background reading. So let's look at who Celia Cruz was. I can see her full name, when she was born, that she was a Cuban singer. She was one of the most popular influential Latin artists in the 20th century. I can go down and take a look at her career, death, tributes, and legacy. So this is actually a great place to start to get some good background information. But you can't actually cite Wikipedia in your paper. If you wanted to, you could go down and take a look at these references and cite some of those. You still want to do your good practice of evaluating everything that you're looking at, even through Wikipedia references. All right, I'm going to go back to my search results and see what else comes up. So we've got celiacruz.com. The best way to tell if something is kind of authentic is if you come into a website you don't recognize, like celiacruz.com. But I'm a little bit suspicious that they don't have an About Us page anywhere. All it is links to videos and news. So I would put this in the maybe category. Perhaps if you found like a great article coming from celiacruz.com, you might include it, but I don't love, like I said, that they don't have an About Us page, so I can't see who's writing. Well, I can see this as an author. But you see, they've pulled it from youdiscovermusic.com. So it's not even written in-house. It looks like they've pulled the same article and put a copy of it on celiacruz.com news page. I'm going to tell you guys I wouldn't use this page at all. I'm going to go back out to my Google results and move on. So first we saw the Wikipedia, now we've got this biography website that I'm a little bit suspicious of. Britannica. Britannica is going to function a lot like Wikipedia, except Britannica isn't open to the public to edit. But one thing is that sometimes they don't put their full stuff up because they're trying to make money, right? So they want you to subscribe. Biography.com. Again, I would want you guys to really look critically at websites like this, see who's writing for them, and so on. I've got one call from NPR. For those of you who don't know what NPR is, it's the National Public Radio. It's kind of like PBS for radio news, but they actually do some pretty decent in-depth reporting. So I think NPR would be a really great website to include. It's an organization. So this looks like it's actually more of an in-depth, almost like a journalistic expose about Celia Cruz rather than just a listing of her top songs or something like that. So I think this would be a great critical piece to include. I'm going to keep looking. youdiscovermusic.com, right? So this looks like where that first article that we just looked at originated from right here. So by Charles Waring. Again, this looks pretty substantive. So what I want you to do is make sure that the article you're looking at is lengthy enough to use, that it's not just a paragraph or two. With youdiscovermusic.com, maybe they have an About Us page. Let's see. Features, artists. No, they don't really even have an About Us page. I really like it when websites, you know, give their core mission, and then that way you can kind of decide if it's worth looking at. Okay, so I'd say youdiscovermusic.com might go in the maybe category also. We got billboard.com. So Billboard magazine, that's one that would be considered a print-based source because Billboard used to be a magazine that came out in print. This looks like her, let's see, these are the 10, obviously we've got lots of advertisements on this page, but as long as the article itself is decent, we can probably use it. So we have an author, and you can see that it's recently written. These are her top 10 songs, and it looks like it's links. In between all these ads, there's links to each of her 10 songs. So that's actually pretty nice. It's pointing you to it so that, you know, should you want to use a video of her singing, perhaps you could. All right. And then the last result here on the first set of Google results is a PBS page. So PBS, kind of similar to NPR, again, is something that I definitely recommend that you use. If you wanted to find a specific magazine or newspaper publication and see if they've written about Celia Cruz or your given topic, you could put it in just like this. So let's say I want to know if Rolling Stones has ever done a piece about Celia Cruz. I could go ahead and put in Celia Cruz Rolling Stones, and it's going to go ahead and, I should have put Rolling Stone, but it's going to go ahead and give me only results coming from Rolling Stone magazine, see? That have to do with Celia Cruz. I could do the same if I'm interested in to see if the New York Times has done something about Celia Cruz, right? So they did something in 2003, looks like 1985, they wrote about her, right? So you can go through and see when the New York Times did, or the Wall Street Journal, or you know, any other major magazine or newspaper. You could just tell Google that you want those results first. So I'm gonna stop there and just know that I'm available if anybody has questions. So feel free to reach out. I'm always here to help.